Okay, so y'all have asked me this time and time again. If I had to start over in my career after working at Google for almost a decade, what would I do differently? The first one is going to surprise you. Knowing what I know now, as somebody who's certified in career coaching and in change management, here's what I would do differently. I would not work harder. Nah. Instead of working harder from day one, I would position myself differently from day one. I would not run from or hide from visibility. I would not shrink back at opportunities to be visible, to be vocal about what I do, where I do it, how I do it, what I know. I wouldn't just wait on people to see how hard I'm working and acknowledge me and give me chances. I would actively seek them out and be comfortable being in the spotlight externally, not just internally at my company. Because being good is not good enough. Doing hard work does not guarantee you anything, especially not now. What you really need is to be visible and for people to see the value in what you're doing and how you do it for the company, not just you showing up and working hard. Working hard is great, but that can easily go unseen and overlooked. And then you end up in a position where you're burnt out, you're overworked, you're tired, and you're mad because you feel like you've done all this and what did you get in return? So the first thing I do is optimize for visibility, not just performance. Still do good work, but do it in a way that aligns with the values of everyone else at the company and where they can see and track how your contributions add to the big picture. That is critical. And that's the main thing that I coach people through who are working so hard but feel like they're getting nowhere. Well, what are you working on? And does it matter to the people who make decisions? Because if it doesn't, I don't care if you're a manager, a director, a VP. If your values are misaligned with the people who make decisions and values, you're going to keep having tension. And I don't want that for you. The second thing is I would stop waiting on clarity to find me. Clarity is not something you find. Clarity is something that you build. And I would take ownership in building that in my career for myself rather than operating in a space of shoulds. I should do this, or this is what they say I should do, or this is the next thing in my performance ladder. And so this is, of course, my next step. No, not necessarily. You don't know where your clarity is until you build it and create it, which means you can't sit in a vacuum and think to yourself. You actually have to make decisions and then make movements. And I did. I moved around a lot in my career. When I was at Google, I had over 4 different roles. I was promoted over 3 times. I also spent a lot of time working really hard and hoping people would notice instead of creating the clear path and positioning myself as the clear person for certain things that I knew that I wanted. I didn't always do that. I put my career in other people's hands and hoped that they would honor it and do well by me. And a lot of people did. And some people did not. Knowing what I know now, we walking all that back. And you can too, because you get the advantage and the benefit of my knowledge. My hindsight being 2020 can be your foresight. That's what future sight is, right? Anyway, you can have it. You can have it. I'm giving it to you. This is a plate. You're welcome. I'm offering you this clarity so that you can do better than I did. The next thing I would do is I would learn to tell my story earlier. Again, that first one about shrinking back and not wanting to be visible. And even when I started my YouTube channel, I was talking about corporate and career. But when people at work started saying they saw it, I was like, oh, crap. I'm not prepared for you seeing this. I wasn't comfortable talking about my bigger ambitions, what I saw for myself, the fact that I do like facilitating and coaching. I did it internally at Google, but I was afraid for them to really see me doing it outside of Google. I wanted it to be contained in the way that I felt comfortable with them knowing, instead of really owning my story and owning what path I wanted to take and allowing the chips to fall where they may. I was not comfortable with that. I was hyper fixated on controlling the narrative, and I did. I did an excellent job at it, okay? Chef's kiss to me, all right? That marketing degree did not go to waste. But I was afraid of how people would perceive certain things, so I held it back. I didn't really get vocal or clear or public about what I wanted, and I wish I would have changed that. The next one is that I would invest in support sooner. So I had a coach. She was phenomenal, and I wish I would have had her sooner. I went through 2 promotions with her as my coach. She coached me down. You hear me? Every time I was unclear, every time I was unsure, to the point where she actually, I don't remember the timeline, but I think I started coaching around the time she started coaching me. And it was like, oh, I see the value. I see how much gets unlocked when you are working with someone who is not focused on getting anything from you or trying to push your performance in a way. Her sole purpose was, here's what I hear you saying. Here's where I see you moving. Here's what I see you shrinking back from. Here's what I'm noticing, right? She was a mirror for me. And that reflection made everything so much clearer. I literally wish I could like buy her a house. She meant so much to me and has done so much for me and unlocked so much in my career, not just the promotions, but the story I told myself and how clear I was or was not, right? She was right there in my ear, like, this is what I'm seeing, this is what you're saying, this is what you're not saying, right? And it's not therapy. It's not a I vent and dump all my feelings and she processes them. No, no, no. We were action oriented, we were strategic. She helped me see blind spots. We played out the things I was telling myself and reframed them so that I could be productive. And I honestly credit so much to the work that we did together. And that is a part of what inspires me to show up and do this work now is knowing how much she meant to me in my career and as my coach. I'm honored to be that same person in other people's lives, to unlock so much for them, and then to see what they go on and do, to have clients getting 16% raises, 10% equity increases, manager and senior manager and director titles, and all the things that people are doing when they work with me, moving jobs, getting elevated in jobs, quitting jobs, all the things, right? But really doing it from a place of alignment and because it's what they want, not because I told them this is what I did, so do what I did. That's what all the coaches are doing now. And it just irks my spirit because my path is not your path. Me copying and pasting my story onto you is not helpful to you because your path is your path and my path is my path. But if I can be that mirror and I can hold it up so you can see, oh, this is what I was missing. It's like there's nothing like it. I would invest in coaching, strategy, workshops. I would spend the money because literally it's the difference between wasting time, wasting energy, wasting effort, missing out on peace, confidence, all the things that I ended up getting when I started working with her and started getting clear that I could have had much sooner. What I want you to know is this. Most people who are successful and high achieving and have done things that other people admire, we've never been taught how to think strategically about our careers, about our next move, about how we're positioning ourselves for promotion, for exit, those pivots and those plans and those things you want that you're afraid to say out loud. Coaching is a space where you can say those things and you can honor those things. You can join one of our Q&A calls. No obligation to work with me as your career coach. You can check the description box for more information. We'll be showing up here every week. Please subscribe to the channel so that you get notified when we have more amazing content like this. But in the meantime, in between time, wherever you go, whatever you do, please, please be the light. Bye, y'all. Shine bright like a diamond in the sky. And cut. Is this cut? No, like this. Cut. Cut.